In this video, we're going to continue on the About page, and we're going to add our boxes and also the testimonial area. And we also want to add the footer. The footer I actually could have left from when we copied the index stuff, but it's easy enough. We'll just add it again. So let's go to our about.html. We'll go under the last section we did, which was the About section, and we're going to do icon boxes. So for this, we'll do a section with the ID of icon dash boxes, and we'll add a class of p-5 for padding 5. Let's put a container in here, and in the container we'll have a row, and I also want to move the stuff down from the bottom, so let's do mb-4 because we're going to have 2 rows, so I want them to have spacing in between. So in this row, let's do 3 call md4s. So we'll say call dash md dash 4, and I'm going to do times 3. And then in this first one, we're going to put a card. So put a card class. We're also going to make the background red. So we're going to do a class of bg danger. I also want everything to be centered. Actually, before we do that, let's make the text white, and then we'll do text center for this box. I keep calling it a box, but it's actually a card. And then inside here, we want the card body, and we want an icon. So it's going to be an I tag with the class of FAS, and then FA-building, and then we want it to be 3 times the size, so FA3X. Okay, then under that icon, we're just going to put lorem, we'll do 10, like that. And then it's going to be pretty much, every box is going to be pretty much the same. It's just going to have a different icon. Oh, one thing I forgot was the H3 under the icon. So for the H3, I'm just going to say, let's just say sample heading. If you want to put something different, that's fine. But let's copy now the whole card. Oops. So we'll copy this, and we'll put this in the next column. And we're just going to change the icon. We're going to change the background because it's going to go red, black, red. So we want to change BG danger to BG dark. Keep the text white though. And then for the icon, it's going to be FA-bullhorn. And we'll just keep the same heading, that's fine. And for the last one here, we'll go ahead and we'll paste in our card. We're going to keep BG danger. This will be red because it's red, black, red. We'll change the icon from FA building to, let's do FA comments. Okay, so we'll save this and see what we get. So that obviously doesn't look right. I messed something up. Let's see. We have the call MD4. Call MD4. Oh, okay. So I put it in there. Wait a minute. Where's the container end? Looks like the container doesn't end. Oh, it should end here, and then column D4. I think I'm missing an ending div right here. Let's try that. There we go. Okay, sorry about that. So now we have our cards with the icons, heading, and the text. Now we want to have another row of these. So what I'm going to do is copy the, let's see, we want to copy this row. So this ends, where does this end? Should be the second div. Okay, something is not right here. Where does this end? All right, so a little troubleshooting here. The row should not end there. If that ends there, okay, that's the row. Am I missing an extra div here? Let's see. All right, so that should be right then. Just make sure your divs line up. So the container should be the last div, the row should be the second to last, and then each column should end before one another. Okay, good. So now I'm going to copy the row, which ends right here, and go directly under it and paste it in. And then I want to just change it up. I want the first one to now be dark. and we'll change the icon to FA box or whatever you'd like, really. The second one will be BG danger because I want that one to be red, and we'll change this to FA dash credit card. And then this last one will be BG dark, and we'll do FA coffee. All right, let's check it out. And there we go. So there's our boxes. So now we're going to do the testimonial slick slider, and basically we're going to have block quotes. Okay, so it's going to be a slider of block quotes. So in our HTML, let's go directly under this section here, and let's add comment. We'll say testimonials section, give it an ID of testimonials, and let's give it a class of P-4, so padding 4. Let's also make the background dark, so BG dark, which means we want to make the text white. And then within here we'll do our container, and let's put an H2 and text center, and we'll say testimonials. And then under that we're going to put a row with text center, and in here we'll just have a column that stretches all the way across, and then we want a slider class. Okay, so in the slider class, basically we're going to have divs with block quotes inside of them. So let's do a div. It doesn't have to have an ID or class or anything, but inside here we're going to say block quote, and we want to give it a class of block quote. Remember this from I think it was the first sandbox video, the typography. And inside here let's put a paragraph. I'm going to give it a class of MB-0 for no padding on the bottom, and then let's just do lorem 10. Oops, lorem 10. And underneath that, let's actually, yeah, never mind. Underneath that, the paragraph, let's put a footer, and let's give it a class of block quote dash footer, and I'm just going to say John Doe from, so basically like this would be like a client, and inside here, so John Doe from, and then I'll go on to the next line, and I'm just going to put a site, not a site, S-I-T, C-I-T. So we'll put a site tag, and I'm just going to say, I'm going to give it a title attribute of company 1. So that's the company he works for, and then the text will be company 1. So it's basically just a testimonial from a client. And then what I'll do is copy this whole div, go underneath, paste in 2 more, and let's just change the names up. So here we'll say Sam Smith, and we'll say that he's from company 2. And then down here, we'll say Megan Williams, and she's from company 3. Okay, and we're going to have to just initialize the slider, so we'll do that in a second. Let's just add the footer real quick. I'm just going to grab it from index.html, so this right here. So we'll just paste that right underneath. Okay, now if we take a look at it right now, the testimonials are just on top of each other. So we have to kind of initialize the slick slider within the JavaScript. So we'll go down to our script tag, and let's just put in here a jQuery, and we want to grab onto slider, which surrounds all that stuff, the block quotes or the divs with the block quotes, and call .slick. And then in here we can pass in options. So we want it to be infinite. How do we spell infinite? Infinite, I am not the best speller in the world. So infinite true, because we want it to keep going. We don't want it to stop at the end. And let's say slide to show 1. So we want to be able to slide it to show. And let's do slide to scroll, and we'll set that to 1. And save. Let's go back. Okay, so it looks good. Let's hit the arrow here, and it changes the testimonial. And we can go back. And that infinite option just allows us to keep going like that. All right, so that's our About page, guys. In the next video, we're going to start on services.